Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. Arsenal have offered Declan Rice to be the most paid player at Arsenal. We're going to be diving into that story. It looks like he's going to be the most expensive player as an English player in the Premier League, most expensive player for Arsenal, and also the highest paid in the club books. They have also offered him a future captaincy role as well that has been promised to the player as part of the personal terms that are being discussed at the moment. We're going to be diving into much of that. Arsenal are also discussing the prospect of signing a centre forward. We're looking at the likes of Sanabria and Elie Wahi, but it looks like we are looking at cheap deals for a new center forward. We're looking for someone who can, be a little bit of a backup for Gabriel Jesus. In my opinion, Arsenal should go for a real super striker. Like, that is my opinion. We'll be diving into that. And of course, APL clubs are lining up bids for Florian Balogun. He's always going to be a hot property on the market. We'll be discussing why I think Arsenal should not let Florian Balogun stay in the Premier League. We can sell him to Milan, we can sell him to Inter, we can sell him to Napoli, but do not dare let him play in the Premier League. Like, you can't sell him to a club in and around the Premier League. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. In the comment box below, let's have the conversation. Saka is our highest paid player, but according to reliable sources, Declan Rice is set to be Arsenal's highest paid player, when he signs in this summer. What are your thoughts on this story? What do you think about those ridiculous wages? Now, he did turn down around 200,000 18 months ago. Now he's going to be earning around 350,000 per week at Arsenal. I want your thoughts. I want your comments in the comment box below. Of course, let's get this video to 500 likes. That is the target. Right, so let's dive into it. Arsenal will make Declan Rice, this has been confirmed, Arsenal will make Declan Rice the highest paid player when he signs this summer. A deal is almost agreed with West Ham. Everything's being ironed out, including the payment structure and how many installments it will take to get this deal done. But on side of personal terms, it's been a little bit quiet. Now, this is what I understand. Arsenal reached out to the representatives of Declan Rice, that is the family, especially Sean Rice, the father, and offered these terms, right? Number one, they offered Declan Rice to be the highest paid player at Arsenal. They are willing to do that. They also offered to make him the most expensive English player in the Premier League as per now. They also offered him a future captaincy role at the club. That is what Declan Rice was offered by Arsenal when we approached his family in January. Does he deserve the 350 grand a week? I kind of feel like now we are outrunning ourselves here. Let's talk about it. One, if you pay 100 million pounds for a player, you've got to pay them well. You can't sign a 100 million player and then, give them 100,000 a week or 150,000 a week or even 200,000 a week, right? But in my opinion, Rice doesn't come in and shouldn't come in as Arsenal's most expensive player. He must earn those wages. Of course, we know that the 100 million pounds is not it is not 100% entirely on him being world class. In my opinion, that's not it. It's entirely it has so many things it depends on. One, that Arsenal want to make a statement. Two, that there is competition and would like to beat the competition to sign the player, and a couple of other factors. So for me, I would think that if he turned down a 200,000 deal a week from West Ham 18 months ago, Arsenal should offer him around 250 to 290,000, right? He should be Arsenal's second most highest paid player. These are our highest earners at the club at the moment, as revealed by TalkSport this early morning. Bukayo Saka earning 300,000 per week. Gabriel Jesus, 265,000 per week. That's really huge money. Thomas Partey on 200,000 per week. Alexander Zinchenko, 150,000 per week. And Benjamin White, 120,000 pounds per week. That is what the top 5 are earning. Of course, Martinelli, I think just below that, maybe at 100, and then Reece Nelson and Edin Ketia also at 100,000 pounds per week. I do not have a problem with Arsenal going beyond, our lazy policy of not paying players well. I really want our players to be paid well. I think it's going to be very hard for a club to come and, just take Partey on 200,000 pounds, 200,000 pounds per week. It's going to be hard for a player to a club to come and say, we'll take Saka, despite the fact that he's, earning 300,000 pounds per week. It's always very, very difficult. And that's why I think our players must be paid well. But for Declan Rice, we are giving him a lot without him meriting it. Yes, he's a captain at West Ham. Yes, he's signing from a rival club. He's won the UEFA Conference League. That earns you 200,000 per week. He didn't turn down 200. I think we've been really, really played here. He did turn down 200,000 from West Ham because he thought it wasn't enough. He turned down 200,000 from West Ham because he said, I don't want to be there. It doesn't matter. West Ham could have given him $1 million per week, $2 million per week. He doesn't see his future at West Ham. He didn't want to become the next Mark Noble, and surely he didn't want to repeat a hurricane scenario with Tottenham. He wanted to go to a club that will definitely play in the UCL, has chances of winning some big silverware, and he's going to be, a captain of a big club. So the captaincy, I don't have a problem with that. I'm totally and 100% okay with Arsenal giving him captaincy in the next 3, 4, 5 years. I'm okay with that. I think Odegaard will eventually leave Arsenal, to be honest. I don't see him as a player that will be here for 10 years, right? There's some players that I think will be here for 10 years. Saka, I see him as a 10-year, he will be here for a decade. I think Ben White will hit a decade as well. Ramsdale will hit a decade. And Martinelli probably will hit a decade as well because he really, really loves Arsenal. But there's some players that I feel will eventually outgrow this project or will eventually want to try something else if we win the Premier League probably once or twice. Odegaard is one of those players, okay? And if Odegaard leaves, right, then maybe, right, just maybe, then Declan Rice, can take over as captain. And then also, I think Arsenal know that it will be very hard to keep a player of the quality of Martin Odegaard against, the currents of Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern. They will come in, they will try to sign him. And you could as well get good money and make good money. Right now, if Odegaard was to be sold, Arsenal could make a profit of 100 million. We could sell him for 130 million. We bought him at 30. So the future captaincy, I don't have a problem with that. I think Rice is a leader. I think he's got everything to lead, a football team. The stature of Arsenal. He's just 24. By the time he's 28, look, we've seen captains like Jordan Henderson win the Champions League and the Premier League for Liverpool. And there's been a debate if he's been a much better captain than, Steven Gerrard. And you can't say no because he's won the UEFA Champions League, which Gerrard did win, but he's also won the Premier League, which Gerrard failed to win. So Declan Rice, the future captaincy role, no problem in terms of personal terms. But my problem with the terms is the 350, right? And I don't understand here. We had actually, we approached the family of Declan Rice before giving Saka 300k per week. I think Saka's contract should have been signed after Rice signing his contract. No, it should have been Rice comes in. Our highest player, our highest earner is Gabriel Jesus by the time, 265,000, and then Rice comes in, earns 270, and then Saka can earn 290 or 300. But the fact that Saka is now at 300, it means we will have two players on 300 grand a week. it's not a problem because I want our players to be paid well, but the problem comes in from where the problem comes in is when you start stretching that wage budget. But the positive here, and I know, look, I've been a little bit negative in this video. I just don't like being negative in my videos. But the positive here is Arsenal are now acting like a big club. Arsenal have now started taking, feet in the right direction. Yeah, we are taking our steps in the right direction. So you look at City, who have probably Kevin De Bruyne on 300 grand a week, probably Erling Haaland on 300 grand a week. I don't know if there are any other players on 300, right? They could have like 3-4 players on 300 grand a week. Of course, we do not have the money that City have. Our owners are not as rich as Qatar or Saudi Arabia that are owning these guys, like Sheikh Mansour. Our owners, the Cronkies, are not as rich as that. But if we are willing to give 2 players 300,000 grand a week, that is the right direction. That is Arsenal going in the right direction. There's still a lot of work to do because when you sign a player like Moises Caicedo, he might earn around 130 grand a week. But in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, when he does that N'Golo Conte and becomes a world superstar, you'll have to pay him about just as much as Saka and just as much as Declan Rice. So Rice set to earn around 350 grand a week. That is how much our players are earning, and he's gonna be up there. He's really gonna be up there. I don't know what you guys think about this. In my opinion, it's not that very bad. It's not really that bad, but we've got to. It's a difficult one. It's really a difficult one to see, Rice earning 350, knowing that he has to renew his contract, and at some point in time he will ask for 500,000. That's difficult. That is where the things are really going to become very difficult. Now, Arsenal looking at some center forward names. I've not done a striker on a video on strikers and center forwards because I've not seen very interesting names in the list. The players I'm looking at: Elie Wahi at Montpellier, 19-year-old. He's scored around 23 goals this campaign, and Antonio Sanabria at Torino in Italy. I've not seen exciting names for Arsenal as centre forward targets. But this is a mistake. This is a huge mistake. You see, when you sign a player like Declan Rice, that's a statement signing. Already you have Odegaard in the squad, Saka and Martinelli. You want to level up. You want to take every department to the next level. I've been looking at Inter Milan and how they've done the wonders of getting to the UEFA Champions League final. Anyone could argue that they did have a softer route, but they had Benfica and AC Milan. The Milan derby is never easy. But they had 3 strikers this season: in Dzeko, Romelu Lukaku, and Lautaro Martinez. Right? Those are 3 quality strikers. Arsenal could do with Lautaro Martinez. Arsenal could use the services of Edin Dzeko, and we could also definitely use the services of Romelu Lukaku, apart from blocking his opponents from scoring and missing chances in the UEFA Champions League final. Apart from that, we could use his services. So I think Arsenal really need a good striker. We really do need a good striker. Napoli have won the league this season with Victor Osimhen. But who has been backing up Victor Osimhen? It's Giacomo Raspadori. Raspadori has had a very fantastic season and is now Italy's first choice striker. So I think Arsenal need to wake up here. We need to be very serious. You sign Rice, you have Odegaard, you have Partey and Caicedo maybe. You've got to have a good striker. We can't be, talking about this every single season. Oh, I wish we signed a striker. Oh, I wish we signed a central midfielder. We've had the talk about a central midfielder for quite some time. And I think Gabriel Jesus is very good as a striker. If we can add someone there, if we can add a name in there, it will be absolutely very good. So the only way I understand Arsenal letting Florian Balogun go is if Mikel goes, Balogun can leave because we are signing Vlahovic, right? So our ranks would be Gabriel Jesus as main striker, Dusan Vlahovic as our second striker, and Edin Ketia as our third choice. That is how you win big silverware, right? Julian Alvarez at City might not be that guy that has scored huge amounts of goals, but he scored a crucial goal against Chelsea when they won that game. They became champions. So we will need a good striker. We will really need a good striker. Premier League clubs are lining up bids for Florian Balogun, Brighton in particular, and Crystal Palace in particular as well. Look, I think with Balogun, I've heard from Sky Sports that there are talks going on with the representatives of the player and Arsenal. There is hope that a new deal might be reached, although the terms of the deal are he becomes a main striker. He becomes, he gets regular football at the club. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, they don't want a new loan deal. They just want something new. They want something fresh. And I don't think that's going to happen with us. And I don't see Florian Balogun come in and, wash away the good work that Gabriel Jesus has done and some of the good work that Edin Nketiah has done, especially during the injury period of Gabriel Jesus. So I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be that easy for him. I don't know what we have to do, to be honest. I really don't know what we have to do. But Premier League clubs cannot sign Florian Balogun. We can't allow Premier League clubs to sign Florian Balogun. It would be suicide. Like you can't give Brighton Balogun. That Brighton side, you can't give them Balogun, and you can't give him to Newcastle. Maybe Crystal Palace, but I don't feel it's the right destination for his development because I would love him to go to a club that will enhance his development, and then Arsenal can put a buyback clause. He does well, we buy him back. As simple as that. But I want your thoughts and opinions on all the content that we are creating and all the topics we are talking about today.